Hi, Henrik from Sangrok, Norway. This video will be about being a beginner in martial art, for example, like Taekwondo or Karate, or a white belt. And I think we all know how the feeling is to be a beginner, because everybody has been a beginner in something in life. But when you step into a martial art class for the first time, it can actually be a little bit frightening. There's a lot of new etiquette things you have to do. We have these uniforms and we have the belts to show how long we have been training and what level we are supposed to be on. So of course that can be frightening. First of all, the room that we are exercising martial art in is called in Korean Dojo, and in Japanese Dojo. Do means to develop, or can also be translated like art, something you do sincerely. So the room you're learning and practicing your art. And that is also why we bow when we enter the dojo, and we bow when we leave the dojo. There is a lot of bowing, and that comes from the Far East, because there is more normal to bow than to shake hands. So also when we are starting a class, we line up and then the teacher comes and you bow to your teacher or instructor as well. So this is something we have adopted from countries like Korea and Japan. Why are we bowing? Well, the bowing is, like I said, a courtesy from the Far East. But the bowing also to show some respect to the teacher, that he has built up more experience in his or her field, and the teacher will bow back to the student, and both of them is a sign of respect from the teacher. I bow because I'm very happy that you're in my class, and the student bow because I will give of my knowledge. That can be one reason to bow. And we usually say that it starts and ends with a bow. The bow can be even more. It can also be like, I am now resetting my head. Now, after I bow, it's only about what I'm going to do in this place. It's only about what am I going to do the next hour. I'm not going to think about dinner later or what happened at work today or school today. Now, I am here, and that is everything that matters. So it is like almost going into some kind of Zen moment. And when you start the first time, it is very easy to feel like you're a total fool. You're standing there in this suit, you have the white belt, and maybe the commandos are in Japanese or in Korean, and everything feels very difficult. But I will promise you, it's all about patience and repetition. Repetition is the key to master something, and that is also what martial art is all about. We do the repetition again and again and again. I meet students that is new, and they are so frustrated because they were supposed to maybe move their left leg and they did the right leg, and they didn't understand the turning in the forms and so on. And that I understand, is very frustrating. But I will also promise you, when you have done this over some time, the things that is correct will come naturally to you. So you can actually, after a while, be your own instructor, because you will feel what is the natural and correct way to move. So don't worry if you go with the left leg and it should be right or something like that. It will come. When you started training, and all people meet these difficulties with new way of moving, new technique, terminology, it's a lot of new things. My best advice to you is just be open and take your time. It's allowed to do mistakes, and actually mistakes is something you can learn from. People that never made mistakes in life, they probably didn't try anything new at all, because then you're always on the safe side. So if you do a technique and it looks really strange, and maybe the one next to you is laughing a little, just think, okay, I made a mistake. This will actually help me to learn. So I welcome mistakes. The etiquette is like a framework for what we are doing, because most of these activities from Korea, Japan, and other places in Asia, they are based on a Zen value, and that's why we need to have this etiquette. I also strongly believe that when we are practicing martial art. And if you do that without the etiquette and the moral, it is just violence. So that's why I think it's important to keep these guidelines or framework as the etiquette can be. In Zen, the philosophy of Zen Buddhism, we talk very much about the beginner's mind. And the beginner's mind is not something you should lose. You should keep the beginner's mind. The beginner's mind tells me that I'm always a student, and with the beginner's mind, I'm more open to absorb new knowledge. So it can be frustrating to be a white belt, but it's also a really great opportunity to be a white belt. You can suck in all of this knowledge and learn from it. So also promise me when you get new colors and new belt, try to keep that beginner's mind, that curious mind that you always want to study more and learn more. Also this, like I mentioned, martial art is about repetition. And in the beginning, maybe you can't understand why we are moving like this or like that, and this stance, this doesn't work if I'm going to defend myself on the street. A lot of these things will open up and you will understand it later. So it's always good to have a question, but sometimes you should wait a little bit with the question because maybe you will find out by yourself later. And of course there is self-defense that we are promoting when we are promoting the martial art. But self-defense is more than just defending myself, it's also defending against bad health. It's defense against so many other things than just violence from an attacker. So broaden your horizon and think of the martial art as a tool for living a good life and self-defense against maybe a bad life. Some tips when you're training, and also to enter and go into your zone while you are training. First of all, be on time. Show that respect to your instructor and your fellow students and yourself. Because if you come late, your mind will not be ready. You will take the stress into the class. Also, you disturb the other student and you will disturb your instructor. So be on time. And I think that's a good quality to take with you in other activities in life as well. So that is my very first tip. The other tips is martial art is very much an individual activity. Don't compare yourself to others. Have your own way and slowly you will develop. If you compare yourself with people that is so much better than you will probably not have any self-confidence left. Of course, train with people that is better, learn from people, but trust yourself and appreciate the small step of advance that will come after you have been training for a while. And this video is for the white belts, but also for the people watching that has very much experience from the martial art. Remember how it was to be a white belt. So help the beginners, make them feel welcome. When people feel safe, it's easier to develop. So help them feel at home when they come to the dojang or dojo. The cool thing about being a white belt is that you will soon go up to another color and then another color. So many people, they are thinking you should not crave for those colors, but I think it is a good way of setting goals. When you're a white belt, think of the yellow belt and put some goals. I want to master this and this and this because then I can be a yellow belt. It's better to have a goal than no goal because then you will actually develop. So maybe your main goal will be a black belt, and I can promise you when you become black belt, you will strive even more. A black belt is just the one that have passed the high school exam or something like that. It is so much to learn. And also the cool thing about martial art, it can follow you your whole life. When you are young, maybe you want to do some sparring and fighting, competition. When you get older, maybe you like to focus on the breathing, the meditation. There are so many aspects and you can pick and choose. So the martial art can follow you your whole life and there is always new things to learn. So you made a great choice in joining a martial art class. I remember when I was very young and I started training, and my style is Taekwondo, and we met other people, oh, you're doing Taekwondo, Karate is better, or Jiu-Jitsu is better, or Kung Fu is better. And probably when you come to work after joining your first martial art class or to school, you will hear the same. Listen to me carefully. There is not one style that is superior to the other style. It's all about the individual that is studying. If there had been one style superior to the other, I think the way of Darwin would kick in and the other style would die out. So it's all about how you approach your training and trying to be your best. All of the styles is good. Pick a good instructor and do your best, and the style you choose will be the best for you. I hope this video was informative and can help you to feel better when you come to class. Please leave a comment if you have any question or remarks to what I have been saying. And I will be very happy if you also subscribe to my channel. I will put out more videos about things around the martial art. So thank you for watching.